Okay, you can start now.
I did.
What are you guys' names?
My name is Louis Pingator.
Mine's Teresa Walzak Pingator.
How old were you guys when World War II started?
I was 8 years and 3 months old.
And I was about 6.
No, you,
Well, if you
2 years difference. Okay, we'll let her, I'm sorry.
it was about
Fine.
6 and a half.
Okay,
Six.
where did you guys live during World War II?
I lived at 4418 Wingo-Hocking Street
What neighborhood was that?
at Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
In the Frankfurt section.
The
Okay.
Frankfurt section of
And I lived in Port Richmond
Where you lived?
at 2535 East Edgemont Street in Port Richmond, Philadelphia.
Okay, do you remember hearing about how World War II started?
Yes, through the news. And
Are you talking about when it started?
Like,
How?
when the U.S.
Where
got
were you?
involved?
Well,
Yeah.
she was on the same very well.
te-
Well, technically, you
well,
know.
tell him.
I'm just saying it. What are you hollering for?
Okay,
Okay, it was December 7th, 1941. It was on a Sunday, and it was 7 o'clock in the morning when we got the news. My father woke us up and told us that the Japanese are in Orthodox Street, which is quite a haul from where we live, and to get the newspaper. Now, I'm only 8 years old at the time. I came out of there and ran up Unity Street, up Frankfurt Avenue to Orthodox Street to get a paper. I was only 8 years old, 4 months.
how did you feel about the war when you first heard that the U.S. was
Well,
involved?
I was too young to even. All I knew is that the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor.
Did you care at all or no?
Well, we really didn't understand what was going on at that age, you know.
Yeah.
We just knew we were at war, but we didn't
No, we didn't. No, it
know the
wasn't.
ramifications.
Well, when President Roosevelt came on TV on December 8th, it was on a Monday, and he announced that yesterday, December 7th, 1941, the Japanese attacked, bombed Pearl Harbor, blah, 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 blah. As of this date, we are at war with the Japanese Empire. Period. No Germany, no Italian, no nothing like that. Just,
Oh, really? Just Japanese?
yes, they jumped in later.
Oh, I thought that it wasn't President Barton or Wilson or something. It was
No, it was
Roosevelt?
Roosevelt.
Oh no, Roosevelt was our president.
Roosevelt.
Wilson was early. Wilson was like in 1919.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was earlier.
Did you know anyone who fought in the war?
Yes. My uncle was drafted, but then he was discharged, but my cousin was on Normandy on D-Day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you have any family doing war work, like your parents or anything?
No. No, they didn't, they weren't doing, my grandparents were older and my mother and father worked, so they weren't involved in any of that.
Did you?
No.
In what ways did the war change your activities or habits?
Well, we had to, when we heard the sirens, we had to come into the house or stand in doorways and get your lights out. And if you had blackout shades, you pulled the shades down.
Had your drills?
Yes, it's area drill.
Did you?
And-
Same thing?
Same thing.
Right, and in school, you had to get under your desks or we went out into the corridors.
What were some of the first changes in your life after the war started?
Well, that was one of them. And we went on food rationing, gas rationing, and it was just a whole different way of life.
Yeah, you couldn't. You really had to watch your pennies too, because they give you this not food stamps. They give you the ration book, and they give you little coins like chips. For you're worth a quarter, maybe worth 50 cents. Kids would go to the movies with it, and they would cash it in that way.
And you had
It was a terrible life the first few years. You know, it was really rough because we're at war.
Yeah, you had A and B gas days.
What was that?
That was for gas for your car.
Oh.
Yeah, you had to put that on the windshield of your car,
Yeah.
or else you
A or
couldn't
B.
get the gas.
Did you worry that the U.S. might not win?
Well, sure. Later on when we got a little older, then we knew, because the war went on. Because there was like I lived closer to the river, and they were saying there was a German submarine in the Delaware River, so we were a little afraid then. But otherwise, we weren't, like I said, that involved in it.
Yeah.
But it's
I didn't think we would ever lose. No, we were strong back then. We were a country that had 49 states. We had too much power, and that's why Japan had to go to Germany and to Italy to get them to get involved in it. And that's when Winston Churchill, while he came over here and talked to President Roosevelt. Winston Churchill was the Prime Minister of Britain, and the Germans were bombing Britain at the time. The British Empire, they were bombing them after day after day after day. And their Prime Minister, a man named Winston Churchill, come over here and asked President Roosevelt, you got to help us, blah, 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 blah. And that's the way it had happened. And then Japan came over here and bombed us, and that's all it took.
Well, we had to win because we had Rosie the Riveter. That was, the women went to work on the plane, so that's why we won.
Were you guys discriminated at all because of your race or anything?
No, we weren't.
Like, were you discriminated against?
For our nationality, no. I'm Polish and he's Italian.
No, we never had any problems with that.
Did you have a victory garden or other ways to get enough food?
No, we didn't grow. We didn't grow no victory garden. The food supply wasn't dwindling. It was just money. The economy was so bad that you didn't have the money. And at the time, my parents, we had seven children, and all between the ages of 8 and 11. Or 7 and 11, something like that. We were all young little babies, And she had a tough time. My mother had a tough time. We didn't have no money. There was no money. Then they started what they call relief, and the government would send you a check once in a while. Well, not once in a while, but once a month, just to help you along. Because we didn't have no money. We were going to die, I guess, if we didn't eat.
Yeah.
But my mother did. She persevered. We persevered, and we got through it with flying colors.
Did your mom or any women in your family start working because of all the boys going out to war?
My mother worked one day.
What was your reaction when you first heard about what the Germans were doing to the Jews?
Well, like I said, I was so young, we didn't know about that. Well, I didn't know about that.
We didn't hear too much about that.
Not until later.
In them days.
Right.
Until later.
They were liberated.
They never... We really didn't care. The war was over. We didn't care who got killed or... No, didn't say that. No, I'm not saying we did care who got killed. But as long as the war was over, we said, that's it.
See, and they were rumors and they were denying all that. But that was until more or less...
Alright, what was it like after the war? Like, how was America after the war ended?
Oh my God, they were crazy.
Really?
We had parties and we had Hitler in effigy, we burned him, and we had, like I said, a block party. We painted whitewashed the curbs, and we had flags hanging from one side of the street to the other. And
like fireworks and everything?
we didn't have too much